Hello, everybody. Welcome to Her Tarot Readings, where we do gratitude prompts and journaling for people like you so that we can all get through the transitions of life. Now, welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to the live. Welcome back to the replay. Welcome back to Talking to Me. Comment down below if you're here. Comment down below if you are participating in this challenge with me. Today is a beautiful day. So we're gonna go ahead and start off with our journal prompt today, and then we'll talk again about the moon phase, how to manifest with the moon phase. Now y'all will start to notice that because the moon phase is in the same sign for like 2.5 days, we'll talk about the same thing. So in order to get a little bit more specific, I'll try to use like a birth chart example so you guys can see, like, okay, well, the moon is in this house, this is in my house, this particular house. How can we use those together? And this is me learning how to explain these things to other people at the same time, so be patient with me. You know, I'm telling you things that I just be thinking in my own mind. So if you don't understand, you know, let me know and be like, that don't make sense. And I'll be like, okay, let me figure out a way to make it make sense. Okay. So that's what we're going to be talking about today while we're on live. My phone is charged, thank goodness. Also, be ready for the website launch. I'm super excited to launch the website that we're building for you guys to access services and products easier. So I'm super excited about that. I know today is, hold up. Okay. I know today is Tuesday. So I'm never on lives Tuesday morning, so I don't know what that looks like. But hey, we outside. We're outside. Thank you for the first like, whoever that is. I appreciate you. And we're going to go ahead and get started with the journal prompt. Now, I kind of went into this a little bit at the end of yesterday's video. And just talking about what gratitude is. Now, when you look into, I like to use etymology to define words. But when you look into the etymology of gratitude, it means goodwill. Hi. It means goodwill. Good meaning something supportive. Hi, everybody. It's something supportive to who you're becoming, who you are. Will meaning a desire, a wish, something that you want for yourself. So gratitude is thankfulness. It is being like, thank you so much. I appreciate you guys for commenting. That's my gratitude right there. But gratitude also looks like your mental your mental behavior, your mental patterns. So instead of being like, oh, it's so much traffic, I'm so tired, when you shift into a state of gratitude, it looks more like, I'm so happy that I get to go to where I'm going. Yes, there's traffic, but I'm so excited to be able to achieve where I want to achieve. I'm so excited and to do this, and this. That's just one example. There's a million examples of gratitude. Thank you so much. So gratitude is just shifting into a more positive mindset, a mindset that's supportive. And when we say positive mindset, it doesn't mean it's unreasonable. Like, we're not being delusional here. I know a lot of people, they say delusional. And yeah, let's get on the delusional train. But sometimes it is okay to think beyond who you are and it be very reasonable at the same time. And there's no delusion in the fact that you're thinking beyond who you are today. Like, we got to be real. It's not always delusional when we're imagining what our futures will look like. It's only delusional when there's no reason behind it. Y'all are so nice. Thank you. So get into a state of gratitude that's not focused on delusion but reason. Reasonable saying, because I want, I can. And a lot of times we feel undeserving. We feel like unworthy. we feel like this, and this. And that's what makes our desires unreasonable, because of our feelings, right? So let's get reasonable. Let's focus on our gratitude and our positive mindset. So again, we're coming from the gratitude journal. I don't know why coming on live with you guys talking about this has been making this like one of my favorite things to do. I told you guys I usually do my gratitude journaling at night before bed, but because I'm going on live with you guys doing this, I've been doing it during the daytime. And so I no longer am doing like gratitude before bed. So I'm having to switch up habits because I like to write before bed. And so I've, instead of doing my gratitude, I don't have my book over here. I've been doing my emotional regulation technique that's in my You Are Program book. So, y'all, I've been doing that every single night. And that's really been helping me to kind of shift some of those harder emotions that I can't pinpoint why. Like, for instance, and I'm not trying to go on a tangent, we're going to get started in just a second. For instance, I've been dealing with a lot of frustration this past year. And so I finally sat down and I did my emotional regulation. Literally, I just said this past year. The year just started. We 6 months in, 7 months in. But I've been dealing with a lot of frustration. So when I did that emotional regulation technique that I have in my book, I realized it's not really frustration that I'm dealing with. It is frustration, number one, but that's not the core emotion. It's really that I'm overwhelmed with all the roles and responsibilities that I have. Not only do I work, I mean, thank God I work in a school setting, so I don't have summer. But not only do I have work, I have school, I have online presence in a business to hold up and to build and to nurture. I have my self-care, my daily routines. I have my cat that I need to take care of. I have me. I need to eat. Like, when you're the only person doing it, it becomes very overwhelming. And I realize one of my biggest issues is that I do all of this at home. So I need to create better boundaries with myself where I'm not doing schoolwork and business at home for a long period of time. Like, I need to get out the house and do that work. And I would have not really sat down and thought about any of those things if I didn't go through my emotional regulation technique in my book. So these are just little things that I like to talk about because it do be the little things. And if you shift one thing, you'll see a consistent change. You'll see a change in how you're showing up and how you're feeling. So let's go ahead and get into it. Again, this is what the prompt looks like today. I don't know if you can read it. I'm going to read it for you guys. What makes me a trustworthy steward of large amounts of money? How do I show up today like someone who manages and multiplies wealth with ease? So, steward. You know what? Y'all know what a steward is. Like the people who take care of the sheeps. The people who move the sheeps. They say, and I'm not religious. But they say Jesus was a steward. Okay? So that means you are caring for something, organizing something, and leading it in a direction. You are caring, tending, leading, supporting. So let's go ahead and get into it. We talked about thankfulness, gratitude. Again, we'll talk about how to manifest with the moon before we get done. Let's go ahead and turn on our soundtrack for this challenge, which is the manifest room. That's our soundtrack. It's 11:11 here, y'all. So boom, we outside. If you outside, say I'm outside. I'm outside. Who? I'm outside. Y'all know, for real, I gotta go get my car looked at, because while I was driving yesterday and my check engine light came on, I said, oh, heck no. The manifest. So I gotta go do that. I'm hoping it'll take a long time. Ooh, I be listening to the same songs all the time. I'm trying to like not always listen to the same songs, but it'd be so easy. It'd be so easy. So if you want to go ahead and get started on the journal prompt, go ahead. You know, again, it's what makes me a trustworthy steward of large amounts of money. How do I show up today like someone who manages and multiplies wealth with ease? I'm about to also close this window next to me because I opened it for my cat who was crying because he wanted to go outside. And I told him he can't go outside. So let me close this window. Okay. If you're watching the replay, understand that you can always skip. Look at him. And I closed the window, now he want to complain. You can't waste my AC like that, sweetie. You gonna have to figure it out. So go ahead and get started. If you're watching a replay, you know you can skip over these parts where I'm just writing and skip to the part where I'm just talking. If you're not watching the replay, hopefully you're writing the prompts so that we can work together. Okay, y'all. So the quote at the bottom, I don't think I read this. It said, financial peace comes from clarity, not just cash. Not just cash. Just because you have money don't mean you financially have peace. But when you know what's going on with your money, when you know where your money going to, where it's leaving, how it's supporting you, how it's supporting others, that gives you clarity. When you know what money is. Because money is not just physical, you know? So let's go ahead and get into it. This is a little bit shorter for me today, but it was also a short prompt. But everybody deals with different prompts differently. You know, one prompt may be short and easy for me. It may be something that somebody else goes into more extensively. Everybody's going to deal with a prompt differently. So again, the prompt said, what makes me a trustworthy steward of large amounts of money? How do I show up today like someone who manages and multiplies wealth with ease? And I wish I would have thought back to, you know, comparing it to an actual steward. Let me actually do that. Because I just wrote what I thought. What does a steward do? Give bullet points. Oh, you know what's interesting? When I look at this, it says a steward is someone who manages, cares for, and looks after something on behalf of others. The role can vary depending on the context. On behalf of others is an interesting thing to add. So managing resources, acts on behalf of others, protects and maintains what's entrusted to them, promotes sustainability and long-term thinking, serves with integrity, accountability, and humility, supports the well-being of people, systems of environment they oversee, facilitates order and responsibility within a group or mission. Oh, Lord. So, you know, what's interesting is a lot of what I'm getting as I'm doing this gratitude journal is how is you becoming who you are going to support the community that you're in. So I said the number one reason why I consider myself a trustworthy steward of large amounts of money is because I create a direction for the money. Like, I know exactly where I want the money to go. If I get money from John, I know that I want to put that money into Chase, you know. Hey, Troy, it's okay. I don't know. You ain't missing. I mean, you do be missing something. I don't know. Make sure you like. Make sure you like. But I feel like I'm trustworthy steward of money because I know where I want the money to go. Hey, Micaiah, welcome back to the live. It's good to see you. I know that I can have multiple savings accounts. I can have multiple bank accounts. I can have multiple bank locations. Yes, black and gray. Black, gray, green. And I can put these into accounts that will grow the money. Not like I'm just going to put it into a bank account and leave it there. I'm putting them into specific accounts where the money will be allowed to grow. I'm putting them to CDs, high interest rate savings accounts, stocks, bonds, retirement, into my future children or my nieces and nephews' future, into my family's future, into my community's future. So I do feel like, again, we talked about reasonable. I think long term in regards to what do I want for the safety and security of and well-being of my community and my family members and the ones that I love. And I'm willing to be that steward for large amounts of money so that I can support not just my needs, but my loved ones' needs as well, in a way where, you know, it's not like they're going to grow up and be spoiled and they're going to take advantage of all the good things. It's going to be more like they're going to benefit from all the systems that I set up because I was a trustworthy steward of large amounts of money. So then it says, how do I show up today like someone who manages and multiplies wealth with ease? And I honestly feel like I could do better. I feel like when it comes to checking more often, having a consistent ritual where I am looking over my finances, you know, I recently bought Monarch and I invested in like a year, because they give you like a good discount when you purchase like the year for Monarch. And what Monarch does, you attach your bank accounts to it. Come here. Come here. Oh my goodness gracious. It's never ending. He just meow, meow, meow. Every time I'm on live, I don't know why he do this when I'm on live in the morning. I don't know. But yes, that's what we're talking about. That's what we're talking about. So, where was I at, Red? You just distracted me. I'm getting all off topic. We was talking about how do I show up today like someone who manages and multiplies wealth with ease. Well, I've already started that journey of figuring out where I want my wealth to go to. You know, I've already started the journey looking at, I have multiple retirement accounts. I'm not trying to be up here telling all my business now. And I was thinking about this earlier. I was thinking when I grow, I think I'm going to make these money, gratitude money journal prompts that I'm coming up here doing every day. I'm going to make them private and put them in a private community. So, relax. In progressive way. Things, okay, yeah. Things do become more expensive progressively, but also like there's ways to catch up. They create easy ways for us to catch up. We just got to get used to the transition. But like I was saying, I show up that way because I've been knowing that I wanted more for myself financially, and it took me a long time to make certain steps, but I did them, and I feel a lot more better. Especially, I feel a lot more better that I'll be able to manage and multiply wealth, because that was one of my limiting beliefs that I realized a while ago, is that I felt very uncomfortable having large amounts of money for multiple reasons. One being because of the fact that I was afraid of relationships not working out or me being used. I told y'all about that one experience where the family members that I was with came with me and didn't have no money. So I had a fear of being used, people scamming me and taking advantage of me. And I also had a fear of not being able to manage it all because I didn't know how to manage money. So once I started learning and I built my financial intelligence and I was learning how to manage money, watching videos, attending seminars, all the ins and outs, doing my own personal research, I became a lot more confident that I'll be able to manage whatever comes to me, whether it's $1 million or it's $100. I'll know, well, this is where I want this to go. This is how I want to invest it into myself, into my life, all the ins and outs. But I do think that I could get a lot more better with money management. Okay, you said we must adapt ourselves to that. Exactly. Exactly. So again, the quote for today says, financial peace comes from clarity, not just cash. And although I feel like I've came a long way when it came to my financial intelligence, I do feel like it's a lot more to go. I do believe that my money management is something I want to work a lot more on. So I'm going to just go through this real quick to compare to an actual steward. Manage resources wisely. So I do feel like I manage financial resources wisely. I'm not really acting on behalf of others except for my cat. So, like right now at least. Protects and maintains what's entrusted. Yeah, I do that. I do think long term with my money. I do think I can get better with it though. Because I think more long term in regards to retirement and like my savings. But I do think that with my fund money, I can invest more of my fund money into things that will support me long term, like different makeup products are massages, reflexology, Reiki, something that a self-care thing that is going to last just more than one day. You said money is also energy, and the how we do with money could be good or bad, and consequences each habit we create in entities, which good or bad. Yeah, I agree. I agree. The entity that you create is like just an emotion when in a way. So we finally made it to the first large quote in the book. This is what it says. If y'all know Benjamin Franklin, they say he was rich. So I had to add the Benjis to the quotes. So that quote said, an investment in knowledge pays the best interest. We just talked about financial intelligence. What are some things that you're doing to invest in your financial intelligence? It's a lot of free resources out there. Even like Capital One has a course. It's like a free course that you can go through to learn about it. One of the books that I like is You Can Be Rich. You Can Be Rich. Something like that. But I read a little bit of that book, and that's what helped me learn a lot about like disputing things in a bank. You know, like when you have an overdraft fee, you don't have to just accept that you just gonna have that overdraft fee. You can call them and be like, okay, yeah, I got an overdraft fee, but can you take that off? And when I was struggling the most, and y'all over here, I got $0 in my bank account, and now I got an overdraft fee. I used to be like, what's going on? Why are you taking more money from me? And you see, I don't have no money in this account. No, but I used to call them and I used to be like, hey, can you take that off? That's all I would say. Can you take that off? And then they would give me some little blurb. We can only do this many times. And then they would take it off. I'll get my money back. So always make sure to dispute. When I started focusing on my money is when I started realizing how to speak up for myself. It's also thanks to them. Okay, let me read this. You said the entities we create lead us to have automatic responses. It's also thanks to them, but often we can forget that. Yeah. But when you say entities, what exactly are you seeing entities as? Because I'm seeing entities as maybe your neural pathways, your emotions that you have created, that you have become programmed to believe. Entities of habits. So like what occurs because you performed some type of habit. So let's go ahead and talk about the moon, how to manifest with the moon. We talked a little bit about it before, but I'll go a little bit deeper. And we'll talk about what that looks like in your birth chart. So if you have your birth chart and you can see where the moon is in what house, let me know where the moon is in your birth chart. I had to look up entities of habits because I was like, I don't think I've ever heard of this before. So ChatGPT says psychological entities of habits, inner parts, are patterns. In this view, habits can be seen as sub-personalities or mental entities that operate automatically. Neural loops, repetitive circuits in the brain that drive automatic behavior. Habit cells, part of you that act out the role. The procrastinator, the go-getter. Behavioral programs. Okay. It's a lot to read. I'm not going to read all this, but I think we kind of like, we meet in somewhere in understanding. So it's the Sagittarius waxing gibbous moon. Makai, you said you're a Sagittarius. So I know you've been in your Sagittarius energy lately. With this, we can say also the body is an entity of the soul, because the soul, aka body. I said it because of a logic. Okay, you teaching me something today, Makaya. Words are words. Yeah. So the moon is not conjunct anything today. We're about to have our Capricorn full moon, but we give power to words. Yeah. I agree. You know what I was just thinking about? I was just thinking about this, Makaya, when it comes to like rituals and like doing spell work and even words as well, and using particular words to talk about something. I was thinking about how humans are very powerful, but because we have so much mental abilities, what we do is we kind of offload those mental abilities onto something else. So we give something else meaning so that we don't have to process all of those things consistently. Instead of always saying like this right here, instead of always like having, I don't know, because sometimes we can sense things, and they talk about telecommunication or whatever you call it, when you can read people's minds and stuff. But I really do feel like humans found a way, and it's the same thing with AI really. Like humans found a way to not process as much, and we putting onto something else. So even with AI, I use AI so that I don't have to process as much mental thought. And with words, we do the same thing. Instead of having to do all of this, instead of processing exactly what this fan is, I'm just going to use the word fan to make it easier. I hope that makes sense. Let's go ahead and get into the reading of the Sagittarius moon. Waxing gibbous. So remember, waxing gibbous always means like prepare, cultivate. I would also add like pruning before getting to your main goal. 174. Okay, good. Thank you for letting me know that you understand me, because some days I'll be like, I don't know if I'm being understood. Okay. So, again, if you have not been here, I'm going to read this. I've been reading it every day so you guys can know what comes of this. On this moon phase, we study what has been written in the past. The area of study doesn't matter so much as an attitude. One does it to absorb what is to be found, not necessarily to find one particular thing, especially if that one thing is intended as a justification of some behavior. Let the quest come as it comes. If the road tangents off, take it like a Sagittarian and see where it goes. This is by definition a good time for research or academic writing if you're in school. A test taking on the scholar's moon will turn out well. Sagittarius is not just about education, learning, higher education especially, or testing. You can also see Sagittarius as hopefulness, philosophy, religion, faith, spirituality. It is also wondering, like wandering through places, traveling, modes of, like long sources of modes of transportation. So one of those things I like to mention is like planes. For some reason, I see Sagittarian people who have Sagittarian moons have a interesting relationship with planes. Whether it them working, their passion has taken them to move through planes as a mode of transportation. These are things that I've seen Sagittarian people be connected to. Sagittarian moon people specifically, not sun. So if you're interested in manifesting with the moon, you got to look at what house is it in. Yeah. So Makai, do you ever feel like you have an interesting relationship with traveling on planes? Because that's what I be seeing. I only know 3 Sagittarius moon people, and 2 of them I don't know personally. Do you feel like you travel a lot on planes, or you just have a interesting relationship with planes? So depending on what house your moon is in, let me look at, mine is going to be in my 7th house, which is relationships with planes. Okay. Which is relationship, business, business relationships. I think it also is contracts as well in the 7th house, if I'm not mistaken. So another way that I could manifest using gratitude is by speaking it into existence, right? In a positive, supportive way. So I would like a full ride scholarship, like Adventure and Simple. You see, yeah, I definitely agree, Makaya. Sagittarian energy does give adventure, and it doesn't, when it with adventure, because I feel like with adventure you can like look at like Aries and think adventure. Sagittarian adventure is different. It's like wandering. It's like adventuring to learn something, to work on something, to expand on something. It's like a different type of adventure. It's like when you go on like go-karts and like the RTVs, I think that's what you call it. That's an adventure, right? Sagittarian adventure is like that movie with the Jungle Book where they going through the jungle and trying to figure out a way to get out. That's what Sagittarian energy is like to me. Cause it's like you learning about stuff in the jungle, you studying stuff, you studying the plants, you writing a book about the plants in the jungle, and you creating a map to get through the jungle. Like that's what it feel like to me. And they love to be in the what is subtils? The thoughts. They love to be in the thoughts. Yeah, Sagittarians the moon people love to be in the thoughts. So yeah, if I was to prepare, cultivate, refine something, I'm preparing my mind to be ready to be on a full ride scholarship, period. And this is something that's tied to academia, learning, education, studying. So I think that this matches really well. It's a contract that I will be signing. And it's a personal one-on-one relationship with an entity, which would be the school. So I would speak into gratitude and I'd be like, I'm super excited to finally sign the contract to receive my scholarship for school. I am so happy that I get to learn and build my education and my Sagittarian education through this scholarship that supports me in totality, period. And end it like that. That is how I would use my birth chart in the moon phase to manifest. Now, if I wanted to go even further, I could do a ritual. I could do a candle work ritual. I could write it down on the paper, burn it, bury it. I could do another form of a ritual, maybe something that I don't know anything about. I don't know, look up a new ritual. Find a Sagittarian-like ritual. What is a Sagittarian-like ritual? Let's look it up. I've been on here for 40 minutes. Oh my God. This is long. I didn't realize that. Fire magic. Okay. Fire magic. Road opening spells. I could see a road opening spell. If I was to do a Sagittarian ritual, I would personally use a picture of a plane, because for me, Sagittarius and planes go together so well. Sagittarian moons, at least, and planes go together so well. I would use a picture of a plane driving off of the road. I think that will create some type of symbolism in my mind for the spell work. Truth and wisdom writing rituals, travel blessings, or long distance spells. Divination and vision work, so using scrying with fire, smoke, or black mirror. Doing tarot spreads focused on purpose, bigger picture, spiritual messages. Oh, Jupiter, working with the planet Jupiter's energy. That's smart. So using a Jupiter candle or something. Arrow rituals. Okay, I like that. Arrow rituals. That's an interesting one. Go do archery. That's a perfect thing to go do. And sages, crystals, and tools that you can use that symbolizes Jupiter energy, Sagittarius energy. Sage, cinnamon, nutmeg, clove, rosemary. Crystals like lapis lazuli, amethyst, sodalite, turquoise. Symbols like arrows, compasses, globes, books, horse imagery. Okay. And deities like Artemis, Chiron, Zeus, Jupiter, and centaurs. These all symbolize Jupiter, Sagittarius energy. So even if you want to program your mind through rituals, you can use these crystals and herbs to support that. And that's another way, when I was talking about how humans kind of use external sources to offload our mental processing. When we do spiritual spells and rituals, it's not the things that we're using in the rituals and the spells that's creating the magic. It's literally our mental. So when you use these extra things that you know are related to what you're trying to manifest, you'll see that, okay, I can look at this and now I'm thinking about Jupiter, and I don't have to reprocess that entire vision every single time by myself. Now I can offload the vision onto something else, and now I can come to this something else and it remind me of the vision that I have instead of having to always remember it by myself. That is why we use crystals and tools and all those things, and herbs is, that's the reason. So I'm going to go ahead and get off of here. I need to go get my car looked at real quick before I have to go back to school. I got class today. But I will see you guys tomorrow. I'm super excited. Everybody had the chance to come through. It's good to see you, Micaiah. So tomorrow we'll start again on this journal. Remember, if you don't have the journal, you can use your own journal. Use your own paper. Write it down by yourself. Or you can purchase the journal down below. In the link, it's going to take you to Amazon where you can purchase the product and it will get sent to you as quick as possible. And if you have Prime, it will get sent to you quicker. So don't miss out on this growth. I'm talking a lot about certain things, and it makes me feel really good to be able to expand on my knowledge through teaching and communicating, because some things just get kept in my mind and I'm not able to expand. This is Jupiter energy. I'm not able to expand and learn more about it because I'm just keeping so much in my mind. So for me supporting and you guys having a conversation back and forth, I'm able to expand on my knowledge, and that helps me to communicate better with you guys about how to have a better life. So yeah, let's keep it going. Okay, I will see you guys tomorrow. It was good to see you today. I love you guys. Bye bye.